We're going to finish up worksheet 2-1 today. The rest of the hour will be a work hour. Tomorrow will be a work day for FST classes. And then what we'll do on Monday, we're going to have what's called a homework quiz. Okay, a homework quiz. How I check your homework is this. Your assignment is roughly, I don't know what it is, questions. What did it start on? Question like 12 or something like that? 11, like 11 to 80 or something like that. I'm going to randomly pick 5 or 6 or 7 problems from the assignment that hopefully you've already done. And then at the end of the hour on Monday, I'm going to say, get out that assignment and get out a clean sheet of paper. I'm going to say, give me the answers to questions, whatever they are. I'm going to randomly pick 5 or 6, 7 questions, whatever they are, and you'll write them down. So what if you like skip some of the problems, you don't do them? Well, then you miss them on. It's not checking can you do the problems, but have you done the problems? Okay, so I'll just randomly pick some problems. You'll write them down, and again, if you didn't get them done, sorry, you leave it blank. All right. So it should really, not that I'm rushing you, but it really shouldn't take you more than about 5 minutes or so, because you're just copying answers down and then turning that in. Okay. So and what we'll do with the kids at home is I will email the students at home on Monday right around noon, and I will tell them what problems, and they have that hour. I'll do it during the hour sometime, and I will let them know what problems I want. They'll copy them down, and they will take a picture of it and send it to me through email. Okay, that's the way I'm gonna have to grade there. So anyhow, so we need to finish up going over worksheet 2-1. Also, I already told you guys this. As of right now, we're going to have a quiz over the unit circle on Thursday of next week, next Thursday, okay? And I'll give you a blank unit circle, say fill it all in, okay? And it's like a 50, 60-point assignment, 50 or 60-point quiz, okay? It's not an assignment, it's a quiz. You got to know how to do it, okay? And again, I made up some more copies. There's some blank unit circles up there, so if you want to grab a couple, just don't take the last one. And if you want to practice on that, you can. Okay, so that's going to be next Thursday for students at home. They'll have to till the following Wednesday to do it. Okay, but we'll see how things go. We may make it next Friday or something. I don't know. We'll see. All right, plan on next Thursday. So we got as far as, didn't we get number 63? Is that the last one we did? Okay, so we're on 65. 65. We should be able to get through this without any problem. Oops, not 1.2, it's 0.1. Okay, so number 65. They ask us to make these radians into degrees. Okay, and somewhere on the back of your unit circle, hopefully you put down the way you go from radians to degrees, you times by 180 over pi. So we're going to take 3.14 and times by 180 over pi. Okay, and if we do that, now you got to be careful here. Okay, some students might say, well, these cancel because pi is 3.14. Pi is not 3.14. Pi is approximately 3.14, but it's not exactly 3.14, okay? So they almost cancel, which leaves us with right around 180, okay? I'm going to let you guys, and that'd be over 1. You guys can type this in later. 3.14 times 180 over, and on your calculators, and you have to use a calculator function on your computer. If you just Google search online calculator, you can pop up, one will pop up for you. Don't type in 3.14, because if you do that, they will cancel. You need to type in the pi button. Okay, so this equals whatever it equals. Okay. Actually, I tell you what, I want an exact answer. So why don't you do this? Type in 3.14 times 180, whatever that is, and leave it over pi. That's the exact answer. Okay. So simply type that in. Your answer is going to be something over pi. Something over pi. Okay. 67, 2. And I want to make sure you guys understand, all right? Now, we know it's radians because they tell us it's radians, plus there is no symbol for radians. There's no degree symbol. There's 2 radians. Some students might think, well, what's the difference? 2 radians, 2 degrees. Is there a big difference? Let's talk about that. Is 2 degrees and 2 radians the same thing? Well, 2 degrees, this right here is 0 degrees, so 2 degrees would be like, that's too big. That's more like probably about 10 degrees. That's about 2 degrees. 2 radians, well, all the way around is 2 pi radians, 2 pi. 2 pi is 2 times pi, which is about 2 times 3.14. It's about a little over 6, 6.28, okay? All the way around is 6. So where would 2 be? It'd be about here somewhere, okay? I mean, it's kind of like saying, 2 2 seconds, 2 years, big deal. They both measure time. 2 seconds, 2 years are not even anywhere close, okay? They both measure time, but they're not even close. So we have 2 times 180 over pi. You shouldn't need a calculator for that. 2 times 180 is 360 over pi. And that's the exact answer. I know that the paper says, type in a calculator and give approximate value. We don't want approximate. We want the exact answer. It's less work. You don't need a calculator. If you want an approximate answer, you need a calculator now. 69, 6.32. And again, times by 180 over pi. So your final answer is going to be whatever 6.32 is times 180. You guys can punch in a calculator and then leave that over pi. Okay? And I tell you what, any idea, if you had to guess on this, any ideas what that's going to be? If you had to take a ballpark figure, like if, you're looking at somebody and say, oh, I bet they're 17 years old, I bet they're 18 years old, okay? You're just taking a random guess right here. Without using a calculator, any idea what roughly 6.32 times 180 over pi is? Anybody have a guess on that one? How many degrees it would be? About 360. Right around 360. Why? All the way around is 2 pi, which I say about 260. About 3. It's going to be a little more than 360 actually. All the way around is 2 pi, which is roughly 6.28. Well, this is 6.32. Okay, you went more than once around, so that's going to be more than 300. It's I don't know, 365 degrees. I don't know. Okay, if you actually rounded it off. Okay, but it's a little more than once around. A little more than one time around. Okay, 71 through 85. I'll be right up front with you. On our first quiz, not counting our homework quiz and our unit circle quiz, but the first closed book quiz, if you had a book, there will be questions from 71 through 85. There'll be questions. This is the only time we're ever going to deal with these questions on 71 through 85. Okay, once we do this, we're never going to do it again. Okay, unlike the unit circle. The next worksheet we get, we're going to use the unit circle. The worksheet after that, we're going to use the unit circle. When we get to 71 through 85, this will be the only time we ever do it other than we have a quiz over it. They ask us, when you look at the instructions, it says S denotes the length of an arc of a circular radius. And that's subtend, don't worry about. The radius is R by the central angle theta. Find the missing quantity. Round answers to 3 decimal places. Okay? So, you want to jot this down in the back of your unit circle. More notes. More notes for the back of the unit circle. For arc length, that's what they're asking here, arc length. Use the formula S equals theta R. I'm pretty sure I will not make you memorize that. I'm pretty sure on your first quiz/test, I'll give you this formula. So, what the heck is S, theta, and R? S is the arc length. Why do they use S? I have no idea. The arc length. Theta is the angle in radians. It's got to be in radians. If it's not in radians, make it in radians. If you're sitting there going, how do you make degrees into radians? Well, it should be on unit circle. You times that pi over 180. And R is the radius. Now, on these problems, we're not talking about the unit circle. And right from the very beginning, we look at number 71. It says R is 10 meters. Your radius is 10 meters. On the unit circle, your radius is 1. Okay? So what they're saying here is this. I'm going to explain this, and it might confuse you a little bit. Hopefully not. But I mean, really, what you need to get is this. Here's a formula. There's 3 things. S, theta, and R. They're going to give you 2 out of the 3 things. Plug them in, find out the 3rd thing, okay? But I think it's important you understand it. But even if you don't understand it, plug in what you know to find out what you don't know, okay? So, what they're saying here, you don't need to draw this picture, just watch. We got this radius of 10. Okay, so from here, so right here is the coach. You're 10 miles away. I don't know. Okay, that's just 10 meters is too close, 10 miles off far, but we'll just say 10, doesn't really matter. Okay, and theta is half of a radian, Well, all the way around is 2 pi, which is a little more than 6, So halfway around is a little more than 3 pi, which is 3.14-ish. So half, if this right here is 3, well, half would be about, this would be about 1.5. all the way around 6, a little more than 6, halfway around 3. A quarter is about 1 1/2. So half would be right about here. So what they're saying is, they want the arc length, okay? You're right here, and they want to know how far you've ran. Now, see, we're not going to move on until somebody says it here. This fits in perfect what we had for lunch today, okay? Think of it this way. We're talking about this right here is called pizza, okay? What do they ask you to find? One word, it's not a math word.
Crust.
Who said that? Who said crust? Very good. We're looking for the crust. That's what we're looking for is the crust. How big of the crust is it, okay? Now, does it matter, like if somebody else, and if you're in track, you know the answer to this one. What if you were only here at 5? Is the crust the same? No. If you're running in the track, where do you want to run? Inside lane. Why?
Because
It's shorter. It's shorter on the inside lane, okay? What if you're out here at 15? Then your arc length's even bigger. Your crust is even bigger, okay? Depending what the radius is. Now, we don't have to worry about the radius on the unit circle because it's always 1. Well, in this one, the radius is, what's it, 10? Okay. So that's what we're trying to do is find the crust. So I'm going to put for arc length, I'm going to put crust. Okay, so they give us on this one, we don't know what S is. So S equals theta, which is 10. Is it in radians? Whoa, I'm sorry. S equals theta is not 10. Theta is 1/2. Is it radians? How do you know that? It says radians, doesn't it? Times radius, which is 10. What's half of 10? 5. So what the heck is 5? That's how big the crust is, depending on what you measure it in. If you measure it in feet, it's feet. If you're measuring miles, it's miles. So if you were standing 10 feet away from your coach and you went half a radian, if you rotated half a radian, you would have went 5, what did I say, yards? Whatever unit I was talking about. So that was question number 71. Again, if you got that, great. Worst comes to worst, they give you 2 out of the 3, plug in the 2, find out the third. So on number 73, we know what S is on this one, it's 2. They tell you it's 2. We know what theta is. It's 1/3. They tell us it's 1/3. Times, we don't know what R is. That's what we're trying to find out. So 1/3 times R equals 2. So we need to get R by itself. You could say divide by 1/3, or dividing by 1/3 is the same as timesing by 3/1. Times by 3. Times 3, 6 equals R. So what that's saying here is this. It's saying that if the coach rotated 1/3 of a radian, and you went, and the crust was a total of 2 feet, the radius must have been 6 to start with. That's how far out you should have been. So you're a little bit closer than the last person who was out in lane 10. 75. We know S is 3. Theta, we're trying to find that out, times R is 5. What was S? 3. Why did I put S in there? 3 equals theta times 5. Then we solve for theta. We simply divide by 5. By 5. Theta is 3 divided by 5, which is 0.6. You guys might get mad at me in a second, but that's okay. 77. S equals theta R. S we don't know. Theta is 30. R is 2. So S is 30 times 2, which is 60.